Hi, welcome to Willowbrook Apiary and Homestead. Happy bees, healthy honey. Guys, I wanted to talk to you for a quick moment this morning about something disturbing my wife shared in the news with me. There's an article from Reuters about possible food shortages in fruit and vegetable supply chains, similar to that we experienced with the meat supply chain early in the COVID-19 pandemic, with the states going in lockdown or on pause, whatever term your state has chosen to call it, where they've restricted our freedom to be out and about and doing the things that we normally do day to day. This article references back to May 19th. The U.S. Agricultural Department and Food and Drug Administration said the government could use the Defense Production Act to keep fruits and vegetable lines moving. Sounds like a good thing. The act would give companies some liability protection if workers fall sick. An FDA spokesman said the act could be used to protect the food supply and prevent significant food shortages. So there's a government solution to a personal problem: food supply. Can we think of any other solutions to a food supply shortage possibility? Gosh, can we think of anything that we could maybe do? I mean, if only we all had an independence garden. If only we all planted some fruit trees, semi-dwarf, dwarf, full size. Gosh, wouldn't that be amazing? If only we were all able to do a little something wherever we are to provide our own food. But what could we do? I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I do. Because for months now, I've been suggesting we all plant an independence garden. Independence from this very same food supply chain that is broken in so many ways. From quality control, from government inspections, from E. coli outbreaks, from harmful things being found in our food, from injections and preservatives. Freedom, independence, comes in the form of personal responsibility. Government programs have a place and a purpose, don't get me wrong, but it should never usurp our personal responsibility. We all have a responsibility to do something. Even if you live in an apartment, I am sure that you can plant a 5-gallon bucket with some tomatoes in it or potatoes in it. We could all do something. Behind me, I have this beautiful garden. I planted it early. I planted things before you were supposed to be able to plant things. I have corn and pumpkins growing. I have zucchini squash and beets and cucumbers. I have a successional planting of green beans, bush-style beans, planted here first and here second. My second planting actually came in better than the first. I've replanted some of this and it still isn't coming up great. Solution to that, replant some more. We have too many tomatoes in too small of an area. Guys, this is the first pepper plant I've successfully grown from seed indoors. It wasn't coming along good. I got a new grow light and it just started jamming awesome. I have cabbage coming. I finally made a dent in my salad garden. I finally gotten to the point where I've eaten down and need to take a break almost from that section. But look, over here, we have more romaine lettuce started indoors, forming beautiful heads right now. I've never gotten romaine lettuce to form a head. Very loose head, but it's forming a head. You've watched the video where my son Noah planted his garden. There are seeds of Swiss chard coming up already. There are radishes coming up already. You watched where my daughter planted her garden, and she has a green bean that's come up and a radish that's come up. I've suggested she replant. It's up to her whether she does or does not. You watched the video where we transplanted our strawberries.
They're growing.
They are growing, and I spotted something, focus over here on my hand, amazing while I was talking about Noah's radishes. The first sweet strawberries of the year. I'm gonna give this one to my son. Are they big? No. Are they first year strawberries? Yeah.
Are they sweet? Yes.
Are they sweet? Yes. Continuing our garden tour, we're gonna divert for just a quick second. We have cage after cage of fuzzy bunny cuteness. This one's my favorite in this batch, and this one's close second. Although I do like Charlie Chapman with his mustache over here.
And I call him Mr. Monopoly.
So, these are great pets. But guys, brutally honest, if you're one of the types of folks that is not comfortable with where your food comes from, gardening's great. If you're a type of folk where you're comfortable with where your food comes from, some of these rabbits are of the right size. They could become food. They're a larger breed of rabbit. Do I want to eat fuzzy bunny cuteness? No. The meat supply chain breaks and I'm running low on meat. Is it possible? You decide. Sorry about homesteading mess. Junk. We have a roadside pickup in this pot here. Those of you who are into gardening, oh, he flew away. I was going to say buy the bug, you know what I planted. I have some potato bugs. I pick them off and I throw them into the chicken coop. Free food. But we planted a potato from our pantry. It's growing. Over here in the back of it, a little free self-planted cilantro. And it's getting ready to flower. When those flowers are pollinated by my honeybees or the native pollinators, I've got bumblebees and leafcutter bees and mason bees all in this area. When it's pollinated and goes to seed and dries, we have coriander. Great on chicken, even better on steak, beef. I planted my own tea, sort of, herbal tea, chamomile. I'm going to be harvesting some of these and preserving them so we can make our own chamomile tea. Gonna see if I can get some of those little tea pouches where you put the loose stuff in and then seep it. Back here, I have sweet peas growing. We've put these in our salads consistently. I've replanted and I've got second coming of sweet peas coming up in the spots that didn't germinate very well. We replanted. We've got crabgrass, which gets thrown in with the chickens and the ducks. We finally got some spinach to come up. Broccoli is jamming. I mean, so our transplants not so well. Although this one here was planted from seed indoors. Guys, if you're not great at planting things indoors, don't worry about it. I planted these outdoors, in the ground, earlier than I was supposed to. And they're doing better than the seeds I started indoor. Put it in the ground, see what happens. What's it cost? A few seeds. Carrots are jamming nice.
Finally, I love
We
carrots.
replanted radish in between where the carrots didn't come up. I probably could replant carrots. I'm finally making a dent in the kale row so that the second planting of kale can come up. We've been feeding this to rabbits and putting it in our salads, and I saute it with some onions and peppers and mushrooms and scramble in a couple eggs, or leave it on the bottom of the pan and crack the eggs and fry the eggs on top of the bed of kale and other vegetables. And it's a great nutrient-dense breakfast. Guys, this garden is small, but look at all this food in here.
That's flourishing.
I have marigolds planted along the back, getting ready to flower. I have weeds that have come up free that need to be gotten after some. But you know what? I can pull them and drop them on top of the mulch, or I can pull them and go throw them in the chicken coop.
This one looks like it's going to become a radish or something.
This one is a type of pigweed, I think, which is actually edible. It's all, what are you willing to try?
Not that.
I came over here for this one. Not a carrot. Dill. I haven't planted dill in years.
Dill pickle.
But because dill goes to seed and isn't always harvested in time, it replants itself everywhere. It tastes amazing.
Dill equals dill pickles.
I have
Jiggles.
a free
Thumbs up.
sunflower, self-planted sunflower.
Good for bees.
Or I may have planted. I think I planted some dwarf sunflowers, and that might be the only one that came up. But this one over here in my kale was definitely a freebie.
It's a big one.
Guys, do something. Justin Rhodes says just plant it. Do something. Plant something. Don't wait for the system to break to do something. The time to do something is now. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Guys, go plant something. Whether it's a fruit tree, a nut tree, some vegetable seeds, your favorite tea, herbs, whatever. Plant something. Be your own solution. One last quick thing. This bench, my son, Nathaniel, built this as his final project for woodshop. I drove him to get the lumber. I helped him with some of the complicated cuts. There's a piece underneath that had to be ripped on the table saw and then cut at a 15-degree angle bevel. I helped him with those. I helped him set up the legs, and then he was able to use those to model the other side, laying it on top of these, and do the next one himself. he built this bench. His grandma came over and liked it so much, asked if he would build her a bench, and he's now building and selling her a bench, and has bought his own palm orbital sander so that he can get the job done nicer, quicker, smoother.
Hence the sound.
And has paid for it with the sale of his bench to his grandma. We fronted him the money, he'll be paying us back, and he's already looking to build and sell another one. He actually wanted me to pick up the supplies for a third bench on the same day. I said, let's get this one built and sold so that you've got the money to front your own purchases. So that's where we are. Thank you. Willowbrook apiary and honeybees. Happy bees, healthy honey. God bless.